deserve better, Mr. Speaker. The Prime Minister's well-connected friends may be doing perfectly well, but the young mother I met last week at an unemployment centre in Windsor, or the auto worker I met in Oshawa who's worried he could be next to be laid off, or government workers all across the country trying to figure out why the Conservatives' job strategy is to cut services to Canadians, they're struggling. Does the Prime Minister have anything to say to the 1.4 million Canadians who are still unemployed? Can he name one specific thing he's done for them other than cut off their employment insurance?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Of course, Mr. Speaker, we've done no such thing. What we have seen in Canada since the end of the recession is the creation of over 750,000 net new jobs. That is one of the best job creation records in the developed world. That's why people have such confidence in the Canadian economy in spite of the incredible uncertainty. We have more work to do, Mr. Speaker, but I will tell you what will not create jobs. Those are the proposals of the NDP to raise taxes, to block our trade, and to shut down industries. Those things do not create jobs.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, the Canadian economy is facing unprecedented global risks. Despite a few positive steps by the European Union, the European economy is still in crisis. The United States is poised for another dangerous showdown over its debt, the so-called fiscal cliff. Rating agencies are warning of another downgrade. Economists are warning of another recession. The global economy is in turmoil. What specific actions has the Prime Minister taken in the last 3 months to protect the Canadian economy and to protect Canadian jobs?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, of course, all those things are true about the uncertainty in the global economy, but what's interesting, of course, is that nobody suggests that Canada is the source of that uncertainty. On the contrary, Canada is one of the few islands of stability in the developed world. The reason we are because this Minister of Finance has created one of the broadest and most sweeping action plans in the history of this country, which we continue to move forward on, and also because, Mr. Speaker, Canadians and people across the globe know we have a government smart enough to reject dumb ideas like a $20 billion carbon tax.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
For years, Conservatives have been downplaying the threats of our economy, insisting, as he just did, that we're somehow an island of stability, Fortress Canuck. But in an interview last week, the Prime Minister let the truth slip. The Prime Minister admitted that he underestimated the, quote, fragile state of our economic recovery. He warned that economic turmoil in the United States and Europe should be considered, to quote him again, the new normal. If the Prime Minister now admits that the situation is worse than he thought, why is he still stubbornly refusing to take action?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, on the contrary, I have been saying for 5 years now, in fact, before the recession began, that we were on very uncertain economic times, that Canada had a lot of strengths that are envied around the world, but that we must keep our focus on the economy and doing good things for the economy to keep creating jobs and economic stability here, Mr. Speaker, and that is why we try and increase trade. We don't try and shut it down. That's why we try and keep industries opening, why we don't try and shut them down. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, we lower taxes. We don't raise them as the Leader of the NDP.